So we have come to the end of Season 1, and it has been a very, very successful season for Persib here in Indonesia. We have won 2 trophies, and we have a chance of making that 3 in today's episode. We will be playing in the final of the Indonesian Cup, which takes place over 2 legs, and we will be showing both legs here today. Can we make it 3 trophies out of 3? We have to be optimistic about this. Let's go and kick some balls. Hello and welcome back to Rocking All Over the Globe, Part 6, Season 1, here at Persib in Bandung, in Indonesia. And in our first season here at Bandung, we have won 2 trophies already, and today we will have a chance to make that 3. We will play in the final of the Indonesian Cup, which takes place over 2 legs. In the last episode, you saw that we won the league quite comfortably, and we have gone on to win the league by a long way. And the only question that remained unanswered when it came to the league was, could we remain unbeaten? And we did. But at one point, it became touch and go, but we did manage to hold on, and we have secured that unbeaten season. The only shadow on what was almost a perfect season was the defeat that we had in the first leg of the semi-final of the Indonesian Cup. But that aside, it has been something that I was really not expecting. I knew it was a decent team, but I didn't know we were going to do this well. And so today we will be focusing on the 2 games in the final against Persik, and hopefully we will be strong enough to manage to win both of those games and bring home the trophy. But we'll also be taking a look at Daisuke Sato, who is probably my player of the season, and we'll be doing a little player profile on him and what a season he's had. A player who almost didn't make it into the first team squad, but luckily he did. He has had an outstanding season for me and for Persib this season. We'll be taking a look at him in a short while. But before we have a look at all these things, as usual, if you are brand new to the channel and you like FM content and you love to see people suffer playing this game, then you are definitely in the right place. So why not subscribe, like, watch, comment, do all that good stuff and help the channel to grow. Help us to support the very good work of the British Heart Foundation. But first, let's have a look at what's happened on the pitch since you were last with us. And when you were last with us, you saw us have those 2 incredible results where we beat Borneo at home by 8-0 in the League One. And then we followed that with a game against Bayangkara, and we beat them in the Indonesian Cup semi-final, second leg, by 5-0. A total of 13-0 in that episode. We then followed that up with a Barita Patura trip, and we beat them by 3-1 away, and then came the game that almost saw us lose our unbeaten record in the league. We were 3-0 down at half-time away at Persebaya, but we came back in the second half very strongly, and 3 goals meant that we just about managed to scrape a draw, and we kept hold of our unbeaten record. And what a relief that was. And then at home to Bali United, it was another tough game, but we managed to come out of that 3-2 winners before we went away to Bayangkara again, and we beat them away by 2-0. Rans Nusantara were next up, and they didn't put up much resistance, and we put them away by 4-2 despite fielding a very weakened team. And then in our final game, league game of the season, we played away at Persija, who are our biggest rivals from Jakarta, and we managed to win that quite comfortably by 2-0. And so that brings us to the Indonesian Cup final over 2 legs against Persik Kediri. And a game we should be winning, but they are a good side and we need to be careful. We need to defend well above all else. We are not a great defending team. And if we do defend well, then I'm sure we have the attacking force to score goals and win the trophy. I'd like to think this is possible, and we have to be optimistic we can win our 3rd trophy. In terms of our injuries and our current injuries, we have a clean bill of health, and everybody, for the first time in the season, has come back to fitness. We have also applied for another couple of jobs. I've applied for jobs in the J1 League in Japan. I've applied for the Osaka job, although I do believe they are going to be relegated. And I've also applied for the job that's available in Hiroshima. We will have to find out what happens as a result of those interviews. But now we are going to take a look at a player who almost didn't make it to the first team squad. Daisuke Sato, who we have got used to scoring goals from the edge of the penalty area, and someone who has 22 goal contributions to his name this season, playing from left back. And what a great player he has proved to be. And so let's take a look at the career of Daisuke Sato. He was born in the Philippines in 1994, the 20th of September, and he has got 64 international caps to his name. He is now 29 years old, and he has been a little bit of a nomad throughout his career. He began his career in 2009 in Urawa in Japan, where he played in Japan for 5 years before moving back to the Philippines, where he played for Global for 3 seasons. He then went off roaming a little bit, including to Europe, where he played in Romania and Denmark quite a lot, before moving back to Southeast Asia. And he spent 5 seasons with clubs in Thailand, moving around mostly on free transfers, before he finally arrived in Persib in Bandung a year before I did. He arrived in 2022-23, and he had a decent first season, playing 31 times and scoring 2 goals, played a lot, but it was when I arrived and playing him as a complete wing-back or inverted wing-back that he has started to shine. He was almost left out of the squad as I had too many foreign players, and I felt that he might be surplus to requirements, or at least my assistant manager did, but I decided to select him, and boy, was that the correct decision. He's gone on to make 27 appearances. He has 4 goals and 16 assists in the league. He has 5 goals and 17 assists in total. He has 5 Player of the Match awards, and he has a average rating of 7.64 for the season. He is a very fine player, and he is a very good complete wing back on the left hand side. He has good attributes. He's for this level, and if we have a look at his recent form, you can see that he has played extremely well of late, and most of his appearances are above 7. And he does go through phases like that. This is not unusual to see him do this through the season, and that is why he has got his amazing rating. He is 29 years old. We'd like to keep him here at Persib. We'd like to think that he's finished now with his travelling around. He's probably got another 3 or 4 good years that he can give as a fullback here at Bandung. I've got a lot of faith in him. He is my number 1 player at the back. He is one of my key players in this team, and if I stay, I'd like him to stay. If I move to Japan, I think I'd like to bring him with me. And so the first player who has gone into my Hall of Fame this year is Daisuke Sato, a Filipino, 29 years old, who has played 1 season with me. And what a season that has been, and what a player he has been for me this season. But right now, I think it is time to focus on the cup final and to find out if Sato will have a big effect on what happens in these next 2 games. I need to go and get the team ready for the first game against Persik. It will be the away leg, which suits me down to the ground. I'll be right back before the kickoff. Let's go and kick some balls. But just before we go to the game, I can tell you that I have been offered to attend an interview. The board have been extremely impressed with my performance here at Bandung, and also feel that I would fit for the club's vision for the future. I need to go and get this interview done, and then we will get on with the cup final. So we will be right back before the kickoff. And so the team for today, for the first leg of the final, is Alam, Mangkulam, Rodriguez, Kuipers and Sato at the back, Irianto, Madinda and Klock in midfield, with Vikri, Haryadi and Walian up front. This is a first team. This is our strongest team. It is a team that should be winning this cup final. We need to get out there, score some goals, and I think we need to be telling them that it is a match we should be winning. I'm going to tell them I've got faith in you to go out there and do that. So let's go out, win the game. Let's go and get this cup final underway. We are the away team. It would be nice to get a 1 or 2 goal lead going into the second leg. But even a draw would be good. I do feel that optimistic that we should be winning this trophy. At the moment, nothing has happened in terms of shots, but we are just edging it. And we do have the 1 shot that we've had was on target. We are in the white today as Alam looks out for Sato. Sato, one of my players of the season. What an absolutely brilliant season he has had. Here is Madinda. Madinda looking to go down the left, needs support, gets the ball into the box. It's gone to the far post and we have scored, and it's Heriadi who has made it 1-0. And at the far post, I'm not quite sure how he beat his man at the far post, but we have taken the lead, and it's Persik 0. Persib 1, and we are ahead in the final. It was a speculative cross. The fullback missed it on the left-hand side for Persik, and Hariadi said thank you very much and nodded it into the far post. And it is 1-0 at the moment as we come up to 30 minutes. Not a great deal has happened in the final, but we deserve our lead. We haven't had the possession that we would like, but we are the better team by the look of it. We are more creative. But this final is nowhere near finished yet, and it's going to be a long journey to get to where the trophy is held up. But we should be winning this, and that's a lovely tackle. Mankulam, he needs to pick it up. He doesn't, but he has won the ball. Finds Hariadi, who's having a good game today, both in attack and defence, but he's given the ball away. Commentator's curse. We need to win this ball again. Nicely done. Hariadi flicks it on, finds Walian looking to get it forward, and that is poor by Walian. But the ball is just being tossed around here, won and lost in midfield, as Persik try to get their foot on it. We need to defend well. We need to make sure we don't do anything silly. And Sato intercepts, looking to come forward. Come on, we need to counter-attack. That is a poor pass again. And Persik are looking to counter-attack. They have got pace out here on the right, and they have a chance. And he's dribbled all the way, and he has scored and equalised. And that was Sato. Was a dreadful error, and that was very poor, and I need to shout at this team. I'm going to berate this team. That was very poor passage of play. Passing was awful and not acceptable by anyone's stretch of the imagination. Defensively, we just were awful there, and that is how we are defensively. We are very poor in defence. We have a good attack, but Persik are the better team at the moment, and I need to tell them this at half-time. This is not acceptable. You need to be doing better, and this isn't good enough. And they need to go out with that ringing in their ears, and we need to do better in the second half. And here's Hariadi to Walian, and back to Clock. Clock looking back for Rodriguez. Rodriguez finds Kuipers finds Sato. We need a better game from him in the second half. He looks for Vickery. Here is Sato. Madinda, we've got a chance. We've made it 2-1. It's Walian who's made it 2-1. The boys have responded, and we have got back in the lead. And I'd like to get another goal if we could, to make it 3. I'd like a difference of 2 goals if it's possible to take into the next leg. A nice turn by Walian, and it was good one-touch football outside the penalty area, and Walian back on form, back in the goals, and it is now 2-1 to Persib as we look to take this final to Bandung. We look to bring the trophy home as Madinda with a corner. It's low, drilled into to the near post. Is that a penalty? Not given. I thought it was a penalty. It's a chance for Hariadi though. And I think, is VAR checking offside? No, I think it's going to be given. We are now 3-1 up. And I couldn't ask the boys for a better response than what they've done. I really thought this was a foul on Kuipers. It wasn't given. Came out to Heriadi, little deflection, and in off the post. It is now Persib 3, Persik 1. We are dominating this game, and we are in front, deservedly so. 2 goals ahead. I think possibly now it's time to go and make some changes. And so we have made some changes, and I hope now we can just hold on until the final whistle. I'd like to take this 2-goal lead back to Bandung. The other thing is will we be able to take charge of the final, as I do know that Hiroshima are very keen on offering me the job. It is a distinct possibility, I think, that we're going to move to Japan. But will I be given the opportunity to actually go to the second leg? And we do have another chance, and it's fired over the crossbar. I will hope that we get the opportunity to go to the second leg, even if we are hired by Hiroshima. And hopefully we will do enough in the second leg to win 3 trophies. Let's hope so as we go into the final few minutes, and it is still 3-1. We do have a free kick, though. If we can make it 4-1, we will be home and dry. Here is Madinda over the ball. Can he sneak it in from here? And Madinda fires it in, and it's a good try, and it's hit the crossbar. No, it was saved, and it goes out for a corner. There's just a minute or two left. We just need to see this game out now. We are in the driving seat in the final. And hopefully we will go on and win this final now. And there's a ball to the near post. It's headed out, comes out to Huensa, who's come on the left back. And unfortunately, the highlight comes to an end. We are into time added on. There's just a couple of minutes. But Persik have a corner, and they have scored, and it's somehow been kept out. It remains 3-1. It's been a close game. We've edged it, and we have done well, and that is the 2-goal lead that I was hoping to have. And I'm going to say that's a good win. Let's give them more of the same next time, and we will win this cup. What a good result. It's a good team in all fairness, and we should have won it. And that hopefully is that, and we will win quite comfortably at home in the second leg. I need to go and get the team ready now, and then we will be right back just before the kickoff for the final. If we have any news on the Japanese job, then I will let you know in the meantime. And so we'll be right back before the kickoff. And so just before we do go to the second leg of the cup final, I have been offered the job at Hiroshima. And they have offered me a 3-year contract, 3.9k per week, to take the managerial job at Hiroshima Stadium, believing me to be the ideal person to replace their manager. I think we need to start the negotiations with them. And I'm just going to try and up it a little bit. And I think everything else is in order. We'll look for... They've agreed to that. We'll finalise the deal and we'll exit the talks. I also have had a... request to discuss the manager's future. I'm going to refuse to attend that and see what happens to me. But here we are. I have been hired by Sanfrecce Hiroshima. And what an opportunity this is to play in the Japanese league. I'm a little bit disappointed that we didn't get to lift the trophy at Bandung, the cup final, but I think I'd like to see what happens at the cup final. And so we'll be right back. I need to settle myself in here, and we'll be right back with news of what happened in the second leg of the cup final. I would imagine that Persib won. I need to get on with my new job here in Hiroshima. I'll be right back. Well, here we are at Hiroshima, and unfortunately I won't be able to give you the result of the Indonesian Cup final at the moment. All I can tell you is that we have won 2 trophies in our first season at Bandung. They should win the final of the Indonesian Cup, but that won't go down as a trophy for me, unfortunately, because we left before the completion of the competition. We will bring you news once the final is played. I will keep an eye on it, and I will bring you news of what happened. But I have a game to play first, and I will be playing against Kobe, and then we will be playing Kashima. And we will be doing that in our very first episode here at Hiroshima. We have a bit of a task on our hands. We are currently in 17th place. We are in the AFC Cup, and it's going to be a very, very tough season. We have to do well, we have to be competitive, but most of all, we're going to need to finish in mid-table. We've got a lot of work to do. I am going to set the team up tactically to try and get as many points as we possibly can. I'd like to think we can finish in the top 10. Who knows? We need to build this club into a great club. And that's all I have to say for this episode. We are not going to see the trophy lifted in Indonesia. That's it for this episode. If you are brand new to the channel and you like FM content and you love to see people suffer playing this game, well, I can tell you, you are definitely in the right place. I'm suffering at the moment. It's been a big change. It's all happened this week very quickly. Why not subscribe, like, watch, comment, help the channel to grow, do all that good stuff. help us to support the very good work of the British Heart Foundation. I need to get my bearings now. I need to have a meeting with the team. I need to get us ready for our first game at home to Kobe in the J League 1. Let's see what we can do in Japan. We've had a good year in Indonesia. Time to move on. We shall see you in the next episode.